So we're getting closer to the end. So I have 2 questions, and both of them will be aimed at both of you, so you can answer individually, because they're pretty open. The first question is, what is your favorite animal?
Well, you go.
Oh, my favorite animal. I think, to be fair, it's probably a shark. We've dipped into sharks a lot. Sharks are really cool. Like, I just remember it's probably the most exciting thing that I've ever seen. My first ever shark was when I was abroad, and just sitting and watching them do their thing. And I think in the similar kind of way as like crocodiles, they are evolutionary perfect. Like, they're really getting there, and they're very, very misunderstood. Like, I just feel so sad when people are like, well, they're right at the top, they regulate everything, and then they're having a really hard time at the moment. So I think they're pretty cool. Need some more promotion as cool species that actually don't really hurt us at all. Probably benefit us more than anything else.
Awesome.
Yeah. I feel like mine's easy. Like, I really like Crocs. So one thing that I've kind of fallen into, and it's just because we're the CRC, we're the main wildlife response team in Southern Belize, and I noticed, I don't know if he's still on, but there is Jamal Galvis. He is the manatee man of Belize. He's doing some amazing work and conservation work for the manatee here in Belize, and I've helped and just checking out if there was a response about a manatee and all that. But I've definitely have found a soft spot for manatees. They're really amazing animals. And so for anyone else that wants to learn about manatees here in Belize, check out Jamal Galvis, the manatee man. Again, he's doing some fabulous work out there. But yeah, like I said, mine's crocodiles. I don't know. Other than that, maybe Ewoks. I know that's not a real animal.
It's like two separate ends of the scale there. Like, really cute. Actually, croc hatchlings. Croc hatchlings are pretty cute.
Sorry, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd.
I was not expecting Ewoks. I mean, when I put up a story earlier, for those you may have seen, saying that I was very nervous to speaking to one of the world's leading experts in sort of crocodiles, and she reached out to her story. Marisa reached out to her story. She said, "I wait till he realizes how much of a nerd I am." And you've definitely shown that this evening with your Star Wars talk and your love for Ewoks, as well as the Game of Thrones references. It's been incredible. Very much for that. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I have one final question for you both. And what is the biggest challenge you have both faced in academia, and how or what are you doing to overcome this?
I think probably, like, inside of academia, I've had a really good experience where I've been lucky that all of my lectures have been amazing, and I've managed to have these opportunities within school based on the schools that I've chosen and things like that. But I think, like, physical barriers genuinely to having a job in research and academia is always financial. Obviously in conservation, it's critically underfunded, and it does reflect on jobs that are available and what we can do. So I think overcoming it has just been a case of, unfortunately, like, working really hard and finding those right opportunities that fit what you can do. So, like, I was really lucky with the CRC that I had time before it to save, and you kind of have to do things outside of academia, but it still all contributes towards it, and like building up that CV, volunteering. And I was lucky that this opportunity I'm able to do because my costs, some of my costs in country are covered and things like that. So I think, like, being a little bit savvy and promoting funding for conservation and conservation jobs is probably the best thing you can do. But unfortunately it's financial, and I think a lot of people feel the same about that.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I agree with her and a lot of what she had just mentioned. And I think also one of the hardest parts of academia or struggles in the beginning was just being a female that wanted to work with a predator. I'll never forget one of my first master's committee meetings, and one of the professors, I'm going over my project, and he goes, "Why don't you want to work with something more feminine, something fuzzy or cute?" And I just was like, I am at a tier 1 research university, and I just asked why I'm not researching something more feminine. And it was something where I did get a lot of pushback, like, "Yo, you can't do what you want to research. There was a lot of obstacles. So it was me having to no, let me show you, I can do this. And that one thing that's really interesting is I had more obstacles at university for wanting to work with crocodiles than my male colleagues that obviously, the other cocodrileros, they were always just very supportive and everything, but it's been the obstacles of being a female and working with these animals. And I think thanks to my dad, honestly, I have a very strong personality in which I feel I can do it just as good as a man. Like, yes, there might be certain techniques that I'm gonna have to capture a crocodile a bit more different than my friend who's 6 foot something and weighs, you don't know pounds, but 50 to 75 pounds. But it's one of those things, like, as long as I'm able to capture or get the data, and it might be in a different way, but the animal's not harmed, I'm not harmed, no one's in my team is harmed. Like, it doesn't matter what the methodology is, and that's something I see a lot of young women struggling today with, is trying to show themselves in a lot of the fields that are more dominated by men. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do. It's not just wildlife conservation, but it's also just trying to be support for those young female scientists, because I actually know quite a lot of young female scientists that have dropped out of science just because they felt that they weren't able to do it because they didn't have that support. So I was lucky enough to have a family that supported in my decision of my career path. Like I said, a lot of female and male colleagues that were always cheering for me. So I've been lucky, and I see that there's a lot of women that are not that lucky. And so I'm trying to do my best to be that support system for a lot of women right now, that you can do this. Don't worry. If you need someone to talk to you, if you need someone for support, I'm here for you. Like, we can all do this together. And there's a part of me that's like, it's not necessarily we have to be better than men. Like, why can't we just be equal? Like, why can't we just help each other and be equal? We all have strengths and weaknesses. Let's work together, because at the end of the day, if we're all trying to conserve or make a positive impact in the world, let's just work together and get over the ego. So that's, those were some of those obstacles, and this is how I'm trying to get over it and try to helping the next generation.
I've definitely been really lucky to come here, and like, I can't state enough how lucky I feel to work with like badass women scientists, and like all of the interns as well are all like badass male and female scientists, just doing what they got to do and enjoying every minute. And I think you've made a difference, at least here, for equality in science. So I definitely have to commend you for that. Like, it's been good.
No, that's incredible. As you say, I mean, everyone's got the same goals. You're all striving for the same things. So as you say, why can't we work together? I mean, yeah. Now that you've sort of left university, you've done your PhD, you're now working. Do you still find there's a lot of pushback still with you working with an unfemale creature, or have you found it's got a lot better now that you've made a name for yourself and you're sort of driving your way through?
It's ever so often I hit a couple of roadblocks. I do get mansplained ever so often. So I'm like, well, let me womansplain you then. And, but I do feel, and it is possibly because of my name in the crocodilian world or in some of the various, offshoots and conservation or whatever, I don't get too much of a setback anymore. But again, I think there's also, I'm known for being very stubborn and strong-headed. Again, I know when to be that, when it's necessary, but I feel like more people are willing to talk to me. But I see how lucky I am. I do. And I'm not saying that it's been perfect, because it hasn't, but I see where I'm at, and I feel like all women should be able to be in a place where they don't feel like they're second, that they're equal. And so that's why I'm just trying to strive and be in that support system. And also, when I do see situations where females may not feel that they're being given the support or that they're being acknowledged for what they do, is trying to create that environment where they do feel strong, that they do feel like they're contributing to something, and where everyone can become equals through sharing their strengths and their weaknesses.
No, definitely. And Megan in the comments here says she couldn't agree more. I always got told women could never work with elephants, and now I see so many female elephant keepers, including myself, who have worked with them in the past. So as you say, yeah, everyone needs to be there. It's an equality thing. And as I say, there's so many incredible people out there. I mean, from this sort of hour of speaking to you, you've become an inspiration to me on how hard you've worked and how, as Eddie said earlier, how big a badass you are in this sort of industry, sort of kicking it out there. So no, keep it up, keep doing, and keep being that support system that everyone needs. Just keep being you guys. So with that, on that final note, I'll round up here because I feel like I've taken up enough of your time. So thank you both so much for coming on here and talking to us this evening and for doing the takeover. It's been incredible learning about it. But I have one final question, and that's when can I come out and learn more about these crocodiles?
When Boris says you can.
Hurry up, Boco. We need to get us out there now. But no, thank you both so much. It has been incredible, and I have learned so much over this weekend. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
And for all the questions as well.
Thank you very much. Make sure you guys check them out and give them a follow, and we will be seeing you very soon. Thank you very much, and stay safe, stay well, stay wild.